Hello there, our wonderful viewers. This is Whiteboard Inc. We're back finally to present to you our prototypes automation system called Shoe Wash. If you've seen our past videos, you know what we're talking about. If not, don't worry, we're going to give you a small recap about the project. Now, for the project, we just had to make a automation system that solved some sort of problem in the world. Now, as we all know, there's and this problem right now is the pandemic called COVID-19, or in the RNA coronavirus. Now, this pandemic has really made this problem suffer and lose their lives, and it made us engage in new prevention methods to avoid viruses, germs, infected in any sort of way. And one of these methods is by disinfecting clothing. Once we arrive at our homes, we tend to just clean our clothing, or even in some work areas where you need a special type of uniform that can be easily be washed or just thrown away. But for this method, mostly viruses tend to have a short life in soft material, like shirts, socks, pants, and stuff like that. But they do have a more prolonged life in the soles of shoes due to its hard surface. The sole shoes is the bottom part of the shoes. Now, people are cleaning their shoes and they are disinfecting the soles, but the viruses being more active on the soles, like people are in risk of getting infected if they are not wearing some personal protective equipment. Even if it's just gloves, masks, they do need some sort of protection. They're just gonna go ahead and clean their shoes. And also, people don't necessarily know how to clean their shoes correctly. They might even use excessive amounts of chemicals, so in the wrong chemical that will end up damaging the quality of the shoes, or even the use of the shoe. The sole might even fall out, and you don't have to even worry about cleaning your shoe. It's completely wasted. Now, for our solution, the Whiteboard has introduced the idea of an automatic system that disinfects the soles of the shoes while also providing a adequate cleaning without damaging the shoe. Now, it's kind of basically like a car wash, but for shoes. That's why we call it shoe wash. No, it's not like we're gonna go shoes in a washing machine. No, that's dangerous. No, please don't do it. No, we are gonna make it go to a new type of machine that will be in charge of the process and in an automated way will clean the shoes. I say a lot the word automation or automatic. For those who don't know, that means that the system itself or the machine can do the work by itself. Like an engineer just comes here and programs it in a way that it doesn't need any more human intervention. You just press a button and down, in a couple of minutes it will be done. Automation is a big part of our lives in factories, hospitals, lots of parts and work. Which this is the purpose of this project, a more given emphasis to automation. Now, for our objectives for this project, like I said, eliminate human intervention as much as possible. It should be cost effective to provide a high quality of cleaning to the shoe. Like if you can clean and disinfect the shoe by hand better, then there's no point in this part. But make sure that the machine cleans the shoe adequately. Now, an objective is it benefits households and work areas, and it avoids the shoe deterioration, which really a lot of people are losing their shoes or not knowing how to clean them correctly. Now here we have a system design, a system design, where we can see step by step the process and the stations that the shoes go through for their cleaning. Now here we're gonna see a lot of details. First off, we're gonna see what sensors and actuators. Just in case you don't know, sensors are input equipment that we use in machines, so they gather specific data that helps them determine which is going to be the output, because there should be certain conditions met to conduct a output. Now the output is done with actuators. Actuators are mostly like motors or engines, anything that has some sort of action. Now sensors is mostly when an action affects a sensor, and we have an input. I might use pictures to explain that. Anyways, we're gonna go now step by step. Now let's say you are a user, you just arrive at your home and your shoes are dirty. Right? It's dirty, you just want to disinfect them, and you don't want to even bother cleaning them yourself. And luckily you just bought this machine. Now you just take off your shoes and put them in the first station. First station is like the one on the left corner here, where we can see sensor X4, and there's a clock. And after you put the shoes in the first station, the collection section, you have 3 buttons. These 3 buttons are the only things you have to press to make the magic happen. Now the first button, as you may know, is the starting button. You always need that. Every machine has that. And we start the process. Now the second button is a decision. Now, as you can see, there's 2 routes in this machine, this system. Now this route is an alternative route, which will be affected if you press the second button. Now, what does this second button do? Now, the second button, when you press it, it means you want your shoes to be clean from the sides and top, or the back side. You don't always need to do this. You can honestly just ignore pressing the second button and let the shoes go to here and get to the final part here, where they only clean and disinfect the sole of the shoe. They do not clean the sides, neither the band of the shoe. But if you do wish to do so, then it activates an interchangeable pathway. Like for example, I don't know, but when there are with things, the railroad sometimes change direction, and that's kind of the basis of here. When you press this X1, the second button, pathway changes, so the shoes go upwards. Now this I'm gonna explain a bit. Now the third button is another important decision. Is if you want your shoes to be transferred to a standby zone. Now, what's the standby zone? The standby zone is this last station where the shoes will be in open air, where you can just grab them quickly. And this is mostly because this was added just in case you were in a hurry and you weren't going to be in your house or in the place that the machine is. You're not going to be there for long, and you just want to clean your shoes and go. So that's the purpose of the standby station. The shoes are left there, so you can get them quickly. There's no delays. Now, if you do not press it, they just go to storage, and you have to later get them out from storage. Now, let's say you activated the machine. It starts to grabs the shoes. Now, how does it grab it? It has 2 claws. Like, for example, like the claw machines. Cinemas would just pay a token and try to grab takers. So, and for this time, we are gonna grab shoes. And there's 2 claws. A claw per shoe. Now the claw starts descending, and then it grabs each shoe, and after it grabs it, go upwards and continuously descend. And you can see there's this square, these red squares. These are sensors. These sensors will make the claw's movement stop here, so they can just lower the shoes into the next station, into this next station, and so go for it. Good. Go for it. Now, there's also another sensor here. These are pressure plates. These pressure plates are mostly activated, not mostly, always activated, always, when the claw is pushing down the shoe, down to the plate, and once the force is applied, the sensor will be activated and will tell the claw to just stop lowering. It shouldn't go down anymore. It's reached its limit, and that's about it. And the claw just here grabs the shoe, goes up, it stops. There's another sensor here for each claw. This sensor makes it stop its upward movement, and when it stops, the horizontal motors will start activating and just go to the right. Now, when they stop for the first station is mostly to scrape any dirt or any contamination from the shoe, from the sole of the shoe. So and later in the third station, clean the soles adequately with a scrub and chemicals that disinfect the shoes and any kind of. And after the third station, now if you didn't press the second button, it will just continue along this way and go to the sixth station, where it's just gonna die off from both ends. And it's gonna die off with a cool fan, just in case to avoid any type of damaging with the temperature. So there's not gonna be type of low, right? Now, if you did press the second button and you want to clean the size and bands of the shoe, so the shoes are gonna go up here, go up, and they're gonna separate. Why do they need to separate? Now, for example, let's say if the shoes were together, here they are both together, each glove stops together, and the shoes are side by side here, they're side by side here. Now, if they were side by side in any of these stations, it wouldn't make sense, because this station, this is the fourth station here, it's in charge of cleaning the top of the shoe, and the fifth station is in charge of cleaning the sides of the shoe. If the pair of shoes were together, the sides that are in between them are not gonna get cleaned because they're blocking each other. So that part is not gonna get cleaned. So that was important to determine to be able to clean them effectively. So they're gonna separate. But even though they separate, they're gonna continue synchronize. If one reaches here, well, mostly this one is gonna get first since it's closer. If the right shoe reaches here and the left shoe hasn't reached this sensor, the right shoe will only just stop here and won't enter the next station without the left shoe in its position. Now, when both sensors are activated and the left shoe and the right shoe are in place, they're gonna be lowered down to the station, and the station with its process, they go up and continue to the right. They're still synchronized, just like if they were synchronized over here. Here they clean their sides, they go up, continue. Now again, the right shoe is gonna get it here first. Now these sensors are for synchronizing them together again, like side by side. When the right shoe reaches X22, the sensor, it will stop here until X21 is activated by the left shoe. When both shoes are here, they're gonna continue this path, continue to our right, and they're gonna again reach the drying station, the sixth station. Now after the drying is finished, they go to the storage station. Hey, now it's gonna finish, but this storage station is made in a way that if there are shoes already in the storage station, it's gonna skip stopping here. If, like for example, there's a shoe here, the moment the ball will not stop here. It will continue to the next one and verify if there is no shoes here. If there ain't, it's gonna lower them down. The ball is gonna let them go. It goes back, and also in the moment any of these pressure plates from the last two stations are activated, the pathways here, the interchangeable pathway, will reset. So when the claw is finished over here, it goes back in a direct way and it doesn't have to go back to all of this. Now, if the third button was pressed, the claws are gonna ignore both storage stations. Even if they were empty, they're gonna ignore it and they're gonna move to the standby zone and leave the shoes there. Now, if both storage stations are vacant and there's a pair of shoes in them, the claw are going to continue to the standby zone and leave them there because the shoes must be left somewhere. Now they go back here and continue back. Now let's see the next part, the circuit design. As you can see, this is our abstract art of our circuit. There are 107 cables here, and there's also in here you can see all the 34 sensors that were used. And here you can see the 13 amperes that were used. Example, here are the motors and the relays. Now, what is a relay? For example, if the claws are going to the right side, how do they go back to the left side? Now, the relays change the direction of the motor, so they go to the opposite way. That's how when the vertical motors are activated, they can go up and down as well. I would like to explain all of this. It's a bit intricate. But here it is for you to view. Next part. Now here we have the code. The coding. The coding really helped Wiper Incorporated, since it helped us visualize if the system was functional. Here we can see if we made any mistakes, and it was very noticeable. There was complicated parts. There was a lot of changes with the project here. The coding really helped to honestly determine any type of troubleshooting, where we just need to determine any kind of errors or potential errors, or any type of malfunction that could occur if you place some certain inputs that just confuse the machine. I will explain this on this 9th coding, but there's a separate video in charge of explaining this. Mostly I'm just gonna focus on the troubleshooting that was learned from this coding. Here we noticed that we had too many sensors, and due to that we didn't have enough space for a PLC. Now, for final performance, the prototype is very promising and it's successful, even if it's just a theoretical model. This will assure help in the prevention of conflict, and this is proof that automation may indeed help in times of drastic adaptation. Now, also, the users will have some nice looking issues, and I want to say they're going to have some nice looking issues. People are going to ask, how do you get those nice looking issues? And they're going to respond, this is not sure. The case mentioned the whole time, but still, it's a good invention. Do let us know, you know, if any hiccups, any slight errors that might we didn't catch. I doubt it. In one of more videos, we have 2 more videos where one is a elevator speech of this project, and the other one is an explanation about the coding behind the project, which will be linked in the description and also will be shown here in a moment. And also, if you do want to see other types of projects, you go to RealTimePC YouTube channel, where you can find our students' projects that were made this 2020 semester, and you will see a lot of things, a lot of problem solving from us those engineers. Anyways, do have a wonderful day. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the bell button, maybe, I don't know, and don't forget to comment. I would really like to hear your observations about this project. Anyway, have a good day, and don't let coronavirus catch you.